Former world number one Kim Clijsters. Today, another new name will be etched into the trophy as 22 different winners previously becomes 23. Canada's Eugenie Bouchard to meet France's Alize Cornet in today's decider as we edge a bit closer to Monday's Australian Open and an early season trophy here in Tasmania. A nice little tonic to enter a Grand Slam with. We greet you from the very picturesque Domain Tennis Centre here in the beautiful Tasmanian capital of Hobart. The River Derwent there in the background, the city not too far away, and the players certainly enjoy being here before they head to Melbourne for the first Grand Slam of the year. The players will be on court in just a moment. Always a big occasion. Paula Badosa, who joins me in commentary, to get your hands on a trophy on the WTA Tour.
Oh, it sure is, BP, and especially at the start of 2016, both players will be ready and firing to go for this final, and what an opportunity just to get a little bit more confidence leading into the Australian Open.
No doubt. Great crowd in here too. Perfect conditions. A little bit breezy at court level, but the sun is out. The doubles has been completed, and today we await a singles champion. Eugenie Bouchard, she's been in outstanding form here during the week. The former world number 5, looking to get back to the top echelons of women's tennis. And she makes her way out onto court. Plenty of support, the Canadian. And her opponent today, of course, has been as high as 11 in the world. And she's played some big matches this week. None bigger than Tuesday night when she was taken to the wire by the lucky loser, Sepeti Ruig of Paraguay. Got through that, a walkover in her quarterfinal, and last night, well, had a nice direct passage through to the final with a very comfortable victory over Joanna Larsson. So, two players have won trophies in the past. For Eugenie, she'd love to win another. That first one, Boyana, came in 2014, a year where she took the tennis world by storm. A Wimbledon final, 2 other Grand Slam semi-finals, and looking to get her career back on track, and she's laid a great platform so far.
She sure has, and especially after she struggled in 2015. I mean, just to come out here at the start of the year, she's played some solid matches. She's playing up against Alize Cornet, both players being, you know, top 15 players, top 10 players.
It's going to be anthem and then the coin toss.
So for them, you know, both of these players highly competitive, great retrievers of the ball, so expecting a very competitive match today.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have the national anthem in just a moment. Of course, Eugenie Bouchard 1-3 in WTA finals, a 4-5 record for Alize Cornet. So both would love to get more on the winner's side of things when it comes to winning finals. Not always easy to get to a final on the WTA Tour. Trophies can be hard to come by. Of course, Eugenie leading the head-to-head here 2-1. We're going to pause for the national anthem in just a moment, and also the coin toss coming up. Great crowd in here at the Domain Tennis Centre, set for a terrific final.
Have a national anthem now, I think, and then the coin toss. I don't know. Yeah, I guess so.
So Michael Money courtside to introduce the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please be outstanding for the Australian national anthem.
Very short version. So ladies, everything as usual, 20 seconds in between the points. Your coaches once per set on court. If you want them, let me know, please. Any questions from your side? No? Alize? Heads? Mia, help us, please. Lovely. It's tails.
Awesome.
Serve. Now the picture, ladies. Thank you, Mia.
Eugenie
Thanks a lot.
Bouchard will serve first. There's a little abbreviated version of our national anthem for our international viewers, and you can join the conversation. Of course, we are on Twitter, as we have been all week for this tournament, at Hobart Tennis. Use the hashtag there, Hobart Tennis, and your thoughts right throughout this match. Eugenie Bouchard, who's played some blistering tennis this week. Her finest tennis, Boyana, has been first class.
Oh, it sure has, and you know, yesterday was a perfect example, especially in that first set. And hopefully she can maintain that consistency leading into this final.
No doubt. Let's head back down to Michael Money, who's going to officially introduce the two players.
Alize Cornet is from Nice in France, a three-time WTA singles winner. The highest singles ranking is 11 in 2009. She's currently 42. 2015 was her fourth straight top 50 season and sixth overall. Alize reached the quarterfinals at Katowice and Hong Kong. In Grand Slams, she has made the fourth round once at Roland Garros. Victories over Denisa Kontaveit, Veronica
and a walkover quarter-final win saw her matched with Sweden's Johanna Larsson. Alize victorious in straight sets to reach the final. Please welcome from France, Alize Cornet. Eugenie Bouchard's career reached a high point in 2014, a semi-final at the Australian Open and French Open, the final at Wimbledon and the fourth round at the US Open. That final appearance at Wimbledon making her the first Canadian to make a Grand Slam final in singles. Here in Hobart, Jeannie bounced out of the blocks with wins over American Bethany Maddox-Sands, 8th seed Alison Van Uytvanck, crushing 2nd seed Camilla Giorgi, and her toughest match so far, a 6-1, 4-6, 6-4 win over number 3 seed Dominika Cibulkova. Please put your hands together for the former world number 5, Eugenie Bouchard. Your chair umpire for this match, Mijana Viljevic from Serbia.
So the two players continue to head up here, and going back to their semi-final results, Bojana, yesterday, as Michael just mentioned, a really tough match for Eugenie. Won that first set in just 22 minutes, and then, of course, as we expected, Dominika Cibulkova made it a match.
Well, Cibulkova's a very tough opponent, and the way that Eugenie Bouchard came out in that first set was absolutely flawless. And, you know, to Cibulkova's credit, she hung in there, she fought, and Bouchard was tested, but she managed to capitalise early on in that third set and really took it to Cibulkova. So it was a pretty solid performance. And as we heard yesterday, the challenge for Bouchard is just to maintain that level of tennis now as she progresses.
Yeah, and certainly the emotions. We saw her as she sort of lost a bit of ground in that second set yesterday, and knew that obviously her opponent was coming back in Cibulkova. Was just trying to obviously keep that all in check. And of course that match was followed by one that went very, very quickly for Alize Cornet, who had to sit for 3 days and wait for this match, and really didn't give Johanna Larsson a look in at all. And Johanna just didn't look like the same player who had won the night before. Had to finish her match at 2 a.m, come out, and never really got into the contest.
Yeah, tough for Larsson to come out after playing obviously early on in that morning, but to Cornet's credit, she was so solid, barely hit an unforced error, hit a couple of winners, but really was just solid off the baseline, really effective off that forehand drop shot. So she'd be feeling confident coming in today, knowing that she's got a solid match under her belt. Hasn't played for a couple of days, but she'll be feeling good in this final.
Yeah, as we see here yesterday, Eugenie really pounced on those short balls early in the game. And then Dominika started to certainly get more depth, really went toe-to-toe on the ground, made it a real dogfight. And in the end, that crucial 7th game of the third set came the breaker serve, and Eugenie was able to power away and put the icing on the cake, so to speak. And generally been very crisp, particularly on that forehand wing. Her ground strokes have been really solid this week, and she's put in a really big pre-season to get herself right, and hopefully just an injury interrupted free run, and she can certainly get back to the top if she can put it all together.
Oh, she sure can, and she's well on her way. She's looking confident out there. The way she returned yesterday as well as serve
1 minute
was world class, and you know, she's got a new team around her. She's worked hard in the off-season. She's had a good start to 2016, making the quarterfinals. So she's definitely confident.
So Alize Cornet, there's a passage through to today's final during the week. Of course, Mona Bartel couldn't take her place in that quarterfinal with her back injury in her second round win over Naomi Osaka, the Japanese qualifier. But that tough match was quite an unbelievable match, Bojana, under lights here earlier in the week against Veronica Sepedroig, who was the lucky loser, ranked 142. Sloane Stephens, the top seed, withdrawing from the tournament. Veronica won a first-round match and then absolutely took it up to Alize. And, well, she had to find everything in the end just to get over the line somehow on a night where she went to ground a couple of times. I think she hurt her knee and her hand, and her serve wasn't going that well. But for Eugenie Bouchard, a more easier passage through, certainly in a couple of matches against Maddox Sands and also Georgie.
As well. I mean, look at the names: Bethany Maddox Sands, Georgie Sibylkova. But Bouchard to get across the lines, impressive.
Yeah, I think that certainly the quarterfinal win against Georgie was great tennis. Of course, the girls had to back up after a lot of rain on Thursday, which meant we had a very late finish. And of course, Heather Watson, the defending champion, had to play a couple of games in the same day and couldn't quite get to this final stage. So Bouchard, certainly on paper, goes in as the favourite here. But Cornet is one of the great fighters on the tour. Will get plenty of balls back. Loves that backhand wing, which she uses to great advantage. And Eugenie, probably off both wings, has been as effective.
Yeah, but Cornet really will have to step up on that forehand side. I think she can sometimes get a little bit tentative, and I expect that Bouchard really will target that side of Cornet. But look, crucial for both ladies to get off to a really good start early on in this final, but guaranteed it will be highly competitive. Well,
Eugenie overall, Shenzhen and also here in Hobart, winning 70% of her service games in 2016, so needs to keep that trend continuing. Beautiful day, blue skies. Very pleasant 19 degrees here for the final. Good crowd in.
First set, Eugenie Bouchard to serve. Ready.
So we get underway here for the 2016 Hobart International Final.
Long 15.
You'd rather get that out of the system early. Can only get better from there.
Well, it is a little bit breezy down there, so really important for the girls to keep those feet moving.
Great effort to get the first volley back, but sort of stranded there in the middle of the court. Bouchard with a comfortable pass at 15 all.
Well, the last two serves on that deuce side have both gone to Cornet's forehand.
So Cornet, the 7th seed here. So the world number 42 up against the world number 47. Unseeded, Bouchard. This title for Eugenie, of course, 2014 came in Nuremberg. It's also a finalist that year at Wimbledon, as we know, and at Wuhan.
Cornet yesterday said that they both have quite different game styles, and that is true because just looking at the court positioning of both ladies, Cornet is so far back behind the baseline and Bouchard right up on that baseline looking to take the ball early.
Yes.
Generally, at this tournament, the tougher end to serve. Break point coming up here for Cornet in the opening game.
Advantage Cornet.
This is his last title coming in Katowice back in 2014. Defeated Camila Giorgi in the final. The year that she was runner-up in 2 other WTA finals in Guangzhou and Dubai. 2015, not as fruitful.
Yes. Advantage Cornet.
Well, there's the breaker serve in the opening game. The semi-final last night, she broke Joanna Larsson 5 times.
First game.
At 6-1, 6-1 win in just 53 minutes. Tough start, Bodge on serve here for Eugenie. It is quite blustery and breezy down at court level, so not easy to serve today.
Just throwing in her first double fault early on in that game as well.
So Cornet, of course, with a 5-1 start to the season, reached the second round in Brisbane for coming here to Hobart, winning 72% of points when that first serve goes in. So a crucial element for her in her matches.
$15.
And this is where Bouchard will start to take the ball early, because the forehand from Cornet sits up a lot. She hits a lot of spin on it, but just sits up in the striking zone for Bouchard.
$15-13.
Go back to that game that Alize had against Veronica Cepeda-Roig, the lucky loser from Paraguay. That match, a really tough one for her to get through. There were 9 breaks of serve. Opening set of that match. Back on Tuesday night here.
15-14.
Now, 2 break points. Bouchard. It's gone wide, so 2 breaks to serve to start here in the final. A game apiece.
1 game.
the last 3 occasions that these ladies have played, all 3 matches have been very close. A lot of 7-5, a lot of 7-6s.
I mentioned Eugenie making that Wimbledon final in Wuhan in 2014 on the way to defeat Alize Cornet.
Just see how the pace off the Cornet forehand really doesn't put any pressure on Bouchard. She has a lot of time to set up.
That man there, folks, in the Canadian attire, we saw a quick glimpse of. He's been here all week leading the charge for Eugenie Bouchard.
Just not being able to execute that drop shot well enough, and we saw how well Cornet moves forward into the court. Got to read off that forehand, but Cornet, smart play up at the net. Cornet just looked a little tentative after she hit that forehand. Just doesn't seem to get to that ball. Just looked like she was stretching at that groin a little bit.
Nicely done. She's going to probably look to change it up, isn't she? Because Bouchard is so strong off the ground. She'll have observed her form during the week. They've played each other 3 times. Yep. She knows what Eugenie's going to serve up, and now she's got to throw a few different things into the mix.
Game, Cornet.
Well, a hold of serve is quite difficult early here. Cornet, 2 games to 1 here in the final.
Leads 2 games to 1.
Just have a look at Eugenie Bouchard's serve, and early on just having a little bit of trouble with her ball toss, has framed a couple of serves, just not being able to find a little bit of range off that forehand side. Bouchard currently hitting 8 unforced errors as opposed to 5 from Cornet, so just a little bit of inconsistency from Bouchard at the moment. She will have to go for a shot though against Cornet, because Cornet loves just to get the ball back in play.
Time.
A beautiful day here in Hobart for the 2016 Hobart International Final. We've had 3 breaks to serve so far. Number 7 seed Alize Cornet of France now with break 2-1, looking to try and hold here for the first time and consolidate a nice little advantage. Top of 19 at the moment, but he's quite blustery and breezy, which is making it a little difficult on the serve, and the ball consistently sort of flying through the court, holding up at certain times.
Love 15.
Very early on into the relationship for Eugenie Bouchard with Thomas Hogstead is here courtside. He's coached Wozniacki, Sharapova, Lina, Simona Halep. Unforced error off the racket here of Bouchard. Thomas stepping in to try and take Eugenie back. It's great heights of 2014.
You can see how Cornet favours that backhand side.
30-15.
So solid and really steps in nicely.
Thirty-all. She almost hesitated whether to move forward or not, and then last-minute decision, decided to come into the net, but just see Bouchard pick the right shot. Good execution.
Yeah, just an example of what we've seen quite a lot this week from the Canadian, who's got a break point here at 30-40.
Yes. Advantage Cornet.
Good serving from Cornet, currently sitting on 80% of first serves in.
Great shot. Coming back like a rocket.
Yes.
Oh, great movement there from Bouchard. Really not having to move much, just shortening that swing.
Plenty of firepower off the racket of both wings of Eugenie this week.
Advantage Bouchard.
Poor boy almost had his moment, just spilled it, but he enjoyed the moment. Great job, all the ball boys and ball girls here at the Hobart International.
Yes.
As we've seen this week, just the contrasting matches that Bouchard has played. She's got through a couple really comfortably, a couple of really tough games where she's had to try and keep it all emotionally together and get through little troughs. Once again, just wrong with the backhand. Trying to get that good deep return back. So big hold first in this first set. Nice little advantage here for the French woman. 3 games to 1 in the opening set.
Just sense that because Cornet gets so many balls back, Bouchard is taking it early, but she feels pressured to have to do a little bit extra in order to get a winner or force an error out of Cornet, and it's just not being able to find a range at the moment.
Love 15.
Bouchard has to work for her points, then she's in for a tough one today, because it was a perfect example of the court coverage that Cornet can get. Just her ability to get a ball on every racket, a ball that Bouchard would normally get a winner off. Good control there from Cornet, just picking the right moment to attack on. And that winner off that forehand side will definitely give her confidence.
So Bouchard is taking a little bit longer just to compose herself here. Knows it's a big serve at 30-all. That first serve percentage at the moment around just 50%. Needs to lift that. See the frustration. Eugenie not quite able to execute enough first serves right now. Big looping forehand back. That second serve, an easy put away cross court.
That's what I'd love to see Cornet try and drive through that forehand a bit more, and just to be careful that she doesn't let that ball sit up too much for Bouchard.
Yes.
As I mentioned off the top, been a long honour roll here in Hobart, a different winner every year of the tournament. Some great names on the trophy here. Medvedev, before she, of course, won her 2 Wimbledon titles. Kim Clijsters, former world number 1. Great shot again, Cornet. Couple of good forehand winners. Serve the break.
Advantage Cornet.
Well, that's the type of forehand I like Cornet using. Doesn't go for too much. There's a lot of margin for error there. Good controlled aggression.
Game Cornet.
It's a terrific start by Alize Cornet. She leads the final here in Hobart, 4 games to 1.
Cornet leads 4 games to 1.
Just have a look at Cornet and maybe a bit of a sign of that groin. That right groin there. She was stretching it out earlier on, and on that last change of ends.
We can just see her in the sit-down. Once again, just maybe a little bit concerned about that area. She's off to a great start here. She looks to be on a real mission today, Alize Cornet. Think time for Eugenie Bouchard. First serve percentage down to 42% for Bouchard.
Time.
And only winning 20% of them.
So the Domain Tennis Centre here in Hobart for the final of the 2016 Hobart International. The final tune-up before the players head to Melbourne for the Australian Open. What a start here for Alize Cornet. 4 games to 1. Saw Eugenie Bouchard looking over to her camp. Certainly very frustrated with her start. 12 unforced errors so far. Just the 6 from Cornet. Hit more winners, Bouchard, as you would expect. It's been all that firepower this week. Here's another error.
15 love.
That forehand wing.
And yesterday, Bouchard said that she would have to do a better job of controlling her emotions. And as she walked out of that change of ends, she was talking to her player box. So has to change something here.
Third Sheila.
Simply right now, just not keeping enough balls inside the tram lines.
Fourth Sheila.
Cornet, well, certainly the first serve working for her today. It's a big part. It's 78% hitting her spots.
Fourth Sheila. Game Cornet.
Well, Cornet just doing enough to capitalise on this lead for Bouchard.
Cornet leads 5 games
Just
to
way
1.
too many unforced errors.
Up to 15 now, to 6 for Cornet, playing a very steady game. 6-1, 6-1. She dismantled Joanna Larsson 53 minutes in their semi-final here late yesterday.
Lights for service.
Love 15. Love 13.
Well, seems like all the things that were working for her yesterday are letting her down today. That first serve percentage, second serve percentage is definitely one of those.
15-13. Was it?
Sure why Cornet just didn't play the point. So a little period. We've got Bouchard, who's battling out there. Better serve. Just feels like she just needs one or two crunching forehands to get her going, but right now the body language isn't great.
Yes.
Third double fault for the match, Bouchard. Again, not doing a good job of controlling those emotions.
Advantage Cornet.
So it gives Cornet now a set point.
Game in first set Cornet. 16-1.
Well, if anything, we thought the scoreline might be the reverse of what it is. But right now, the 7th seed is in the box seat, a seat under her belt here in Hobart. Well, the unforced error count is just far too high. The body language isn't great from Bouchard. We know it's a little bit windy and blustery down there, but these are the elements right around the world that you have to contend with, Boyana. And we just see Eugenie just ducking off court here for a moment.
She really needs to regroup and sort of start all over again. That set went by far too quickly for Bouchard, and you know, just didn't really work the points, didn't start it off maybe changing up a three-quarter pace serve. You know, her body language wasn't up to par where I think she thinks it should be. So look, a lot of reflecting, and hopefully she can come out in the second set and get a good start.
Yeah, as much as her tennis has been outstanding, she has had some adverse moments, some tough periods she's had to work through. So this being another one of those, we'll see what the reaction is like. So the Canadian contingent watching on here, trying to support their player, Eugenie Bouchard. Also just reflecting on the first set and showing, well, not a lot of emotion at this stage, but a set where Alize Cornet eventually got on top once she could hold her serve. We saw a few breaks of serve early.
I just like the way that Cornet went about the match. She hustles for every single ball, but she also stepped up to the plate and took advantage of some of the second serves from Bouchard, especially off the forehand side. So, you know, for Cornet, she'd be happy that she maintained her level of tennis, and the test for her now is to raise that bar a little bit more. I mean, Bouchard displayed highlights of how she's gone about this tournament, but not enough to give herself any opportunity of staying in that first set with Cornet.
In the end, it just unravelled for Eugenie, just not able to keep enough first serves in particular. Alize Cornet getting a lot of good looks. Good powerful forehand. Forehand has been pretty solid as the first set has worn on. It's the governor of Tasmania. In fact, all the corporates just below us enjoying a fine day at the tennis. Good crowd in here too for the final, as you would expect.
So we have a look at the first set statistics. I mean, Cornet definitely being the most comfortable player there, sitting on 77% of first serves. And just being the most solid player on court. Bouchard not being able to establish herself, especially off the serve, only sitting on 43%. And look at that, only being able to win 5 out of the 14 points on her first serve. So a lot of work for Bouchard to do in this second set. And Cornet, well, should be feeling pretty happy out there so far.
So Eugenie Bouchard still off court here. Wait for her to reappear. Beautiful day weather-wise. Top of 19 here in the Tasmanian capital. Unforced error count in that opening set. 16 off the record of Bouchard. Just the 7 for Cornet. As you would expect, there's always going to be a healthy amount of winners. With the firepower game of Bouchard, 10. 8 winners for Cornet. She's got to keep more balls in play right now.
And that's the thing, when things aren't going your way, you need to be a bit more positive. You need to hang in there and be tougher. But for Bouchard, just let herself get the better of her in that first set.
So Eugenie reappears, which is good news. First round win over Bethany Maddox-Sand. She's beaten 3 seeds since then. Alison Van Oudvank, Camilla Giorgi and Dominika Sibylkova to earn her spot here in the final. Tougher passage than Cornet, but Cornet has had the upper hand in the opening set. Looking to win her 5th title on the WTA Tour. Right now, she's well on her way. The work ahead for Eugenie Bouchard.
Love the key. Love 30. Love 40.
Oh, perfect start for Bouchard in this first game of the second set. Just working the point nicely and better intention, not going for the lines, moving forward nicely.
Well, that might just get her going. Much more confident game. Much better ball striking from Bouchard.
Well, she's creating opportunities, and that's what she needed to do in the first set. But good signs from Bouchard. She took a break after that first set, regrouped, and came out and really worked the points nicely.
You can join the conversation anytime using the hashtag there, Hobart Tennis. Another big week here in the Tasmanian capital. Of course, Marilla, a great partner on board for a long time. A special presentation on court a little bit earlier. Backers of this tournament. Certainly the crowd would love this match to go 3.
15 love.
Love to see a fight back here from the former world number 5.
And 6 points in a row now for Bouchard.
30 love.
See Cornet stretching down the other end of the court. She's had little issues, Boyana, with that groin.
Yep.
As this match wears on. See how she stands up physically. Great first set to take it 6-1.
40 love. Game Bouchard.
Great start here to the second set for Eugenie. 2 games to love.
Bouchard leads 2 games to love.
8 points now in a row for Bouchard. Good start for the Canadian so far in the second set.
Of course, high unforced error count in that first set right now, keeping plenty of good balls in play. The Governor of Tasmania here in Hobart watching on.
15 love. Light for service.
Well, that's what Cornet did yesterday. Good deep returns through the middle.
TPT.
So Cornet, important to hold here, otherwise his second set will certainly start to get away.
40-15.
Couple of game points.
Girls, the foot fault has been called.
So first foot fault of the match. In fact, I can't remember a foot fault being called all week here in Hobart. Oh, it's a beautiful return. Really could wind up. And that slow serve coming in.
40-13.
She takes it so early, Bouchard, and just can't help to think if she can just get a few more returns in. She has missed a couple early on in this game. She can just start making a few more. It will apply pressure to Cornet to have to do a bit more something special on that serve. At least she'll get a look on a lot more second serves.
Yes.
Great shot right into the corner. Precise. Cornet.
Advantage Cornet.
Jamming up Bouchard there, so good hold for Cornet. Still Bouchard with the break, 2-1 here in the second set.
Bouchard leads 2-1.
Bouchard just not too happy with herself at times, especially when things aren't going her way, and doing a lot of talking to herself, a lot of talking to her players box as well. You talk about wanting to get back into that level of tennis that she was back in 2014. Those types of situations, you see someone like Maria Sharapova, who's so consistent with her routine, who always goes back to the fence, regroups and comes back at it. And you can't tell whether she won or lost the point. But for Bouchard, still needs to work on that a little bit more.
And of course the Premier, Will Hodgman, and his two young boys there in front.
Time.
Hobart International Finals Day. Eugenie Bouchard with the break here in the second set, leading it 2-1. Alize Cornet with an outstanding opening set, which went very quickly. Saw a few breaks of serve, and then she got into gear. Cornet 6-1 in the first.
Yeah. 15 love.
Really looking to consolidate this good start to the second set, Bouchard. Not to let Cornet back in. Got to get that first serve percentage up if she's win this match.
Light for service.
She's only on 47% of first serves in at the moment. Well played. Really pushing Bouchard off the court.
30-15.
Just waits for the right ball too. Moves it left and right. Waits for the right ball, and then there, forehand execution.
Light for service. 30.
Certainly Cornet, more experienced of the two players, been on the tour longer. Bouchard with one breakout season. Cornet as high as 11, but been consistent enough to stay around top 40 of women's tennis. Fluctuated in and around that. Just outside starting 2016, but certainly go inside regardless of the result as Bouchard throws in
30, 40.
another double, Boyana. 5 now.
Yes.
She keeps referring back to that right groin every now and then, Cornet. Cornet's just shaking her head.
Advantage Bouchard.
Just say she couldn't move up to that last backhand quick enough.
Alize, she's ready to serve now.
Sorry, I didn't say. It's okay.
I thought you did, sorry.
Yes.
Great deep return from the backhand of Cornet, and I think Bouchard just thinking it might have floated long. Good touch. That forehand drop shot has been a winner for Cornet throughout this tournament.
Absolutely. Used it really well. Oh, yes. Seen that a few times this week.
Yes.
We've been waiting for that backhand down the line throughout this match so far from Bouchard, but there was a little bit of determination on that last shot.
Advantage Cornet.
Well, a big game this, because it's been such a positive start after being, in the end, obliterated in that opening set, Bouchard. And now she doesn't want to be giving away this great start. But Cornet with another breakpoint opportunity. That early advantage has now been taken away. Cornet's restored a bit of order.
Two games all.
Well, for Bouchard, it's those unforced errors that have crept back in that third and fourth game of this set. It seems like the ball's a little bit too far away from her. She's not getting her feet in the right spot, and it is a little bit breezy out there. And even if you're a little bit nervous and the wind's there as well, that's where the footwork is so important.
Love 15.
Just the breakdown for Bouchard on that forehand side. 10 winners, 7 errors. Just the 4 winners on the backhand wing. Bouchard made the 10 errors, so most of the errors coming off the backhand side.
15 all.
You almost feel like if Cornet holds here and gets to 3-2, Bojana, it's certainly not game over, but just wonder about the mental state of Bouchard, who's really struggled through this match emotionally.
Wait, please. $30-15.
To 11 errors on that backhand wing.
Just doesn't look comfortable out there today.
That ability of Cornet just to get a ball back. 3 games on the trot, a set, and 3-2 up here in the final.
3 games to 2.
We'll just have a look at the court coverage from Cornet and her ability to get a racket on every single ball. Just plays in the mind of Bouchard. She just looks a little lost out there as to where to hit the ball and what to do with it. She tries to regroup and have a think about how she can get back into this set and match.
Of course, Cornet, as we know, we've seen a bit of vision throughout this match with the groin.
She actually still looks like she's moving quite well, though.
Absolutely, just getting little twinges here and there. Well, right now, Alize Cornet is in control of this final after winning the last 3 games. Good early onslaught from Eugenie Bouchard to go 2-love up in this second set. But Cornet has restored order.
Love 15. Love 13.
Bouchard's moving very quickly now between points.
Love 14.
Interesting point. A couple of mishits from both players.
This ball really swirling around, and the court playing its part as well. Still, 2 break points here for Cornet.
.30-40. Game Cornet.
Alize Cornet almost got 2 hands on this trophy here in Hobart.
Cornet can just sense how close she is to taking this match. Very fired up, but she's been consistent throughout the whole match as well.
Yeah, great semi-final against Larsen of Sweden last night, 1-1.
Good serve out wide from Cornet, sitting on 69% of her serve, so that's definitely something that's helped her throughout this match. You talk about practicing good habits, and for Bouchard today especially, just hasn't been able to find a way to get herself back into this match, and part of that is the way she's carried herself out on court. Body language has been down and out.
No doubt she's going to be one of the interesting stories to follow in tennis in 2016. Promising signs to start the year, but still plenty to get right.
30-50.
Seen that a few times this week. Alize just lose her footing, particularly on that second serve. Well, she's done a great job, Eugenie Bouchard, dismantling a couple of opponents this week, but right now it's been taken apart. Alize Cornet. Not totally all of Cornet's doing. Just played a good steady match.
Game Cornet.
They came away from the title. 5-2 now in this second set.
Cornet leads 5 games to 2.
Well, that's pretty much been the summary of this match today. Is just the unforced error count from Bouchard hasn't allowed her or done her any favours, and Cornet with that fist pump, she knows she's close to securing this match in this tournament.
Yeah, looking for a 5th title. Bodge, as I mentioned, that last one came in 2014 in Katowice. It was a runner-up in 2 other finals that year in Dubai and Guangzhou. That took her back to the world's top 20. Not quite the success she was after in 2015, with that ranking dropping down to 42, but a win here in Hobart will certainly elevate that nicely. So centre court right now being owned by Alize Cornet of France. A game away, 6-1, 5-2 from taking out the title here in Hobart.
Time.
And we look at that unforced error count for the entire match. Guyana, 31 for Bouchard, 17 for Cornet. So 31, certainly heading into the high category where you don't want to be. So Bouchard trying to stay alive here in the second set.
15 mark.
Is there any fight left in Eugenie Bouchard? We're about to find out.
Well, Bouchard had 2 attempts in this match so far where she's hit a drive volley. She hasn't won the point. She had the right idea there, but just the hesitation. Not feeling confident at all out there.
Oh, beautiful off the backhands. 2 points away from the title.
15-13.
Regulation backhand there from Cornet.
(15-14).
5 doubles, 2 match points. Not been a good day for Eugenie Bouchard. Certainly wouldn't want to go out on a double.
Just a couple of short balls from Cornet. Needs to keep it deep. Still has a match point though.
Just pulling it wide. Alize Cornet is the Hobart champion for 2016, her 5th career title. In the most convincing of fashion, 6-1, 6-2. Titles don't come every day on the WTA Tour. As the crowd stands and applauds.
Well, you can see how much it means to her. I mean, an unbelievable effort from Cornet. She really took care of what she needed to do today and carried herself out on court beautifully.
Alize Cornet to celebrate with her coach. Nice little tonic heading to Melbourne for the Australian Open to get a title under your belt. The 23rd champion here in Hobart. On a day where Eugenie Bouchard just couldn't quite replicate the form that has taken her to the final here this week. But credit to Cornet, who got through a very tough second round match earlier in the week and has played 2 scintillating semi-finals and final. And yeah, not the way you'd want to finish the tournament for Eugenie, who's shown some outstanding tennis this week.
Well, she did definitely be disappointed about the final today. However, she's gotten a lot more matches under her belt. She really needs to look at the positives and, you know, there's things to work on, and she's still got a couple of days to do that leading up to the Australian Open.
So the presentation coming up very shortly. 2-2 now, the head-to-head, Bouchard and Cornet. Alize, of course, last beat Eugenie on the clay in Strasbourg back in 2013, and today gets the job done. Well, let's take a look at the highlights, Boyana. Take us through the opening set in particular, because that's where we thought Eugenie could get on top with her strike power early, but it wasn't to be.
Well, she tried to take the ball early, Bouchard. However, the retrieving from Cornet really played into the mind of Bouchard, and as it turns out, there was just way too many unforced errors. And Cornet also then stepped up when she got the mid-court ball. She had the ability to put the balls away, and really Bouchard just couldn't find any rhythm. Had an early lead in the second set, but just wasn't able to capitalise. And to Cornet's credit, she competed, she fought, she found a way to win, and sometimes that's just what gets you across the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Cornet very good up both wings today. In fact, 20 of the last 25 points finished on Bouchard's racket. Boyana, 4 winners, 14 unforced errors, 2 forced. A very happy Alize Cornet, the Hobart champion for 2016. Let's send out to Michael Matey with our on-court presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it again for our 2 players in the final, Alize Cornet and Eugenie Bouchard. I'd now like to call on the Premier of Tasmania, Mr. Will Hodgman, to say a few words.
Her Excellency Professor the Honourable Kate Warner and Mr Warner, to Philip Bowden, the President of Tennis Tasmania, and to other distinguished guests and representatives of Tennis Tasmania, and to Mark Handley, CEO and Tournament Director. Congratulations to you all for providing Tasmanians with a wonderful opportunity to see some of the world's best tennis players here in our beautiful state. I want to also say thank you to all the corporate supporters and sponsors of this fantastic event. The state government is a very proud supporter, but without that corporate support, without the support of so many fans, this event would not be the success it is. I have been praying for rain recently, and I'm sorry for any disruption it caused to the event, but to those staff and to the volunteers, those who work on the court and behind it, congratulations, and thank you also for your extraordinary efforts. Most importantly, to the players, we really appreciate you coming to our beautiful state to play. We wish you all the very best in your endeavours. Congratulations to both finalists today for providing such a fantastic spectacle. And to our winner, what an impressive display. But to you both, congratulations, all the best in your future endeavours, and we look forward to welcoming you both and indeed all players back to Tasmania next year.
Thank you, Premier. I'd now like to call on our runner-up in today's match, Eugenie Bouchard, to receive her trophy for runner-up in the Hobart International 2016. Jeannie, disappointment for you today, but this tournament certainly has signalled your return into some good form in top competitive tennis. Do you think that's a right call?
Thank you. Yeah, I hope so. I've had a great week in Hobart, so thank you everyone for making it so special. And congrats to Alize for winning a title so early on in the year. It's a great thing to do, and I'm definitely going to be back in Hobart.
And that's good news for all of us. Top quality player today just didn't seem to get it going. A little bit of breeze about, I guess, and just couldn't quite get you going. Alize was quite dominant. And can you put it down to anything in particular?
Yeah, it was a tough one for me today. Sometimes these things happen. My opponent was playing some great tennis, and I just wasn't on top of my game today. But I look forward to playing some good tennis in the future.
And I'll just leave you just for a couple of seconds to thank a few people if you would like to do that.
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to thank my team that's with me, Thomas, Speedo, and Cyril. You guys are awesome. This tournament has been really special. I felt very it was very welcoming coming here. All the volunteers, you guys are so nice and really make it enjoyable for us players. All the ball kids, the lines people, tournament organizers, you guys make the event. And of course the fans, you guys were really great this week, especially you. Thank you for your support. It makes it fun playing tennis in front of you. Thank you.
Nicely spoken, Jeannie, and we do hope that you do return to Tasmania. Now, if you'd like to put your hands together for our winner, Alize Cornet, if you could come forward and receive your trophy. Alize, a dominant performance today. You've had your struggles occasionally in this tournament and had a 3-hour marathon in one particular match, but you seem to get it all going together today. What was the difference today?
I don't know so much. I was just very focused on what I had to do. The win didn't make it easier for both of us, so I was just trying to do my best on the court and trying to play point after point. And you know, in the final it's always difficult, and I really got my nerves together. I was trying to stay calm and just to stay focused, and I'm so happy I can actually lift this trophy. It means a lot to me. It's my 5th one only, so it makes it really special.
And Rod, you just seem to be in total control right from the very start, and every player would like to get off to a good start in their matches, but they really did build confidence for you as the game went ahead and got on a little later.
Yeah, exactly. I think the beginning of a match is very important, especially in the final, and I was not making any mistakes in the beginning. I was trying to be aggressive and defensive at the same time, trying to be solid, and yeah, and everything worked out for me today. I'd like to congratulate also Eugenie for her great run to the final. Today was tough with the win, and as you said, sometimes tennis is crazy and doesn't go the way we want, but yeah, it's good for me, and I really hope I'm going to be in the same shape for the Australian Open.
And you now go to the Australian Open, as you just said, and who have you got there first up? And you'd be confident going and taking the confidence of this match going into there?
Like, what do you mean?
No, you must be confident going into the Australian Open, and who do you play in the first round?
That's what you mentioned. Yeah, okay,
yes.
I understood right. I'm playing first round against Bojana Jovanovski. She played the tournament here in Qualis. She's a very good player. We will see how it goes. I just saw that if I win this one, I'll be against Halep in the second round, so that's pretty much a tough draw. But you know, everything is possible in tennis if you believe in yourself, and today I believed in myself very much, and that's what I try to do more and more now. And yeah, it's just amazing. I don't know what to say. Thank you all for this day. It stays really special.
I'll just leave you to say a few thank yous to everyone.
Okay. Now it's my turn to speak alone, and this is going to be a tough one. Well, thank you guys, first of all, for coming. There's a lot of people, and it's always great to play in front of you. The Australian crowd is it's my favorite one in the world, so I'm really happy I can actually win a title here. Thank you to all the people that works for the tournament and makes it possible. I'm not going to repeat what Eugenie said earlier, but thanks to you, we can actually do what we love, so thank you all. And the sponsors also, of course, that helps a lot. And to finish, I'd like to congratulate Morgan. It's actually our second tournament together, so I would say it's pretty much a success story. And, well, you know, you're kind of my coach, my best friend, my brother, a bit everything, so thank you for being here, supporting me. And, of course, my mom, my dad, my brother, my boyfriend, whatever, my dog, that stays home. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. Bye.
There you go. Alize Cornet, the winner of the Hobart International 2016.
Well, always nice to get your hands on a trophy, whatever time of the year it is. Always nice to do it at the start of the season just to try and build some momentum. As she said there, Jovanovski in the first round, he's a tough opponent, and then potentially, more than likely, Simona Halep, the world number 2 in the second round.
And that's where these tournaments before the Grand Slam are so important, especially for players like Cornet, who's looking to get back inside that top 40, top 30. So she was absolutely ecstatic with her win today, and so she should be. Very proud moment for her. And these titles don't come often, and it's only a 5th title, but look, if she keeps performing and stays competitive, there's no reason why she can't continue her success on the court.
Yeah, absolutely. Not quite the day for Eugenie Bouchard, but overall, a very impressive start. A 6-2 win-loss start to 2016 with a quarterfinal in Shenzhen, a final here in Hobart, looking to really build and lay a nice platform early in the season and get her ranking down. Currently 47, Cornet at 42, so both their rankings will certainly come down when the new rankings are released just after the Australian Open. But today, Cornet just had all the answers, Poyana. Just a very good, steady game of tennis.
Oh, she was just absolutely solid and so happy too. And, you know, this win means a lot to her. She's obviously a very hard worker. And, you know, through all the injuries and all the ups and downs, it's moments like these that she works hard for.
Absolutely. So she lifts the trophy, the 23rd winner in the 23 years of this tournament. As we take you through the final stats. And that first serve, well, that was the big thing that let Bouchard down today.
Oh, it was, and for Alize, that first serve just enabled her to get into the rally, and for Cornet, she was the one that was able to maintain on top. The longer the rally went, the more balls she retrieved and really forced the error out of Bouchard. And for Bouchard, I think she's hitting a great ball. Just today was not her day and wasn't able to execute like she did in her semi-final match and in her previous matches. So still a lot to learn for Bouchard, but great to see her in her winning ways again. Yeah,
a tournament that had a lot of the world's top players. Dominika Sibylkova, of course, a top 10 player. Eugenie Bouchard, Alize Cornet, former world number 11, and a couple of players who emerged this week. One in particular, a young qualifier from Japan, Naomi Osaka. Just watch out for her in 2016. Won her first round match and really competitive in her second round. Got a big serve, and a young girl at 140 on in the world who might just be going up the rankings in 2016, and often it's these sort of tournaments that can launch a young player's career.
Oh, for sure, and it's being able to make that step from juniors to seniors, and that's what these tournaments are all about. Not necessarily seeing those front-runner names, but that's the exciting thing about tennis. There's always these new emerging names on the women's tour.
Absolutely.
So definitely someone to look out for.
Embracing the fans, as the players do right across the world. Always a prized photo or signature to get for many of the players.